Well, hey again, everyone. This is Bob from Hot Rock Central, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to check solar panels in some ways that most people aren't aware of. Now, I buy all my panels used, and I imagine a lot of you do too. And before you plunk down your money and go home with them, you want to make sure that those things are working like they're supposed to. Now, I'm not sure about this, but I think that there are some people that think that all they have to do is just check the voltage on it with their voltometer, and if it matches what the panel rating is, they think that that panel's okay. But that's not the whole story. All right. You also got to know if the current output matches the panel rating, and there's two ways you can do that. You can take a voltometer like this. If the panel rating is under 10 amps, most of these voltometers here will withstand up to 10 amps. But there's an easier way of doing that, and that's to take the wires of the panel and plug them in together, and you don't have to worry about it causing any damage to the panel. These panels can withstand a direct short, so don't even think about that being a problem. So the next thing you can do, and the easiest way to do it, is with one of these, an amp probe. And you got to make sure you use an amp probe with a DC setting, because not all amp probes are made with DC. So what you do is you plug those wires in together, and you just take the clamp, put it around one of the wires, get it pointed at the sun as direct as you can, and if you see a reading that matches pretty close to what the panel rating is, you've got a good panel. Now, there is another check that a lot of people aren't aware of, and that's how to check the diodes on these things. Now, you'll know right off the bat if you've got a bad diode in the solar panel if you take your voltmeter and put it across the leads and you see a substantially lower voltage than what the panel rating is. Now, on most panels, you'll have 3 strings of cells in each panel, and they've got 3 diodes on them. And you could have 2 good diodes and 1 bad diode, still get a voltage reading, but it'll be much lower than what it's supposed to be. On the other hand, if you've got a shorted diode, you won't see any problems whatsoever. You'll have the full voltage, you'll have the full current, and the only problem is, though, is if you've got a shorted diode, is once you get that hooked up to the rest of your panels, a diode, the purpose of a diode is only to allow electricity to travel in one direction. So everything on a good panel and good diodes means that all the power is going to be coming out of the panel and nothing can go back in no matter what. Now, if you've got a shorted diode, what's going to happen is when you hook it up to your other panels, you're going to have power feeding back into the panel. And I don't know exactly what the consequences of that is, but my guess is if you're in the middle of summer and the panels are already really hot and you're feeding electricity into the panel and it's heating it up even more, there's a possibility that it could damage the cells, melt the backing on it, catch on fire, who knows. You've probably heard about a couple of the Amazon warehouses having solar panel fires, and that may have been the reason. They may have had some shorted diodes in some of their solar panels. Now, the way that you check to see if you have a shorted diode in your panel, first of all, you've got to lay the panel down on its face. You don't want any light going into it, and you can't do it outside in the daytime either, because even the backing on it can allow some light to get through and give you false readings. So if you're going to do it during the day, you got to take it inside, like in a garage or something like that, lay it face down, and take your ohm meter and set it in the 2K or above range, and take your probes, check it one way, flip it around, and check it the other way. What you should see if you've got a good solar panel is you'll see no reading one direction and you'll get a reading in the other direction. If you get a reading in both directions, you've got a shorted diode. So there you go. That's how you check solar panels out. I hope you found that useful, and that's it for this one. See you on the next one.